welcome to the Warrigal and Druin Gazette's Behind the Headlines. I'm Alyssa Fritzlaff and I'm here with Ghostlight Theatre this evening. Would you each like to introduce yourselves? Tegan, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Tegan and I'm playing the baker's wife.
Amazing.
Hello, I'm Nathan. I'm playing the baker.
Hello, I'm Corey and I'm the musical director for Into the Woods.
Terrific. So Into the Woods is Ghostlight's first big full-scale musical production.
Correct.
Can you tell us about sort of the start of Ghostlight and where it all began?
So Ghostlight began as sort of a little concept that me and my wife started way back in about 2020 at the we began there sort of thinking about what if we made our own theatre company just sort of as a bit of a joke, but then COVID came and hit us and we were in the middle of doing a production of American Idiot with Off the Leash Theatre Company. And we had to pause our productions. We had to pause everything, nothing was happening. And so we sort of started to roll the ball on getting that started because our idea behind it was that we would have shows and concerts and things that could be performed and rehearsed via video call, things like that. Before we even got the opportunity to start that process though, the restrictions were lifted. And so our very first show our very first fundraising effort was called Hits and Bits, which is just a concert review style show, was done in person, and our rehearsals were all done in person. So the original concept sort of died, but then we sort of just kept going and said, look, we're just going to keep going because we want to just be this inclusive company that has the opportunity to provide people with new opportunities to join in on theatre, regardless of their history, regardless of their relationships with others. It's really just about a fresh start and something that people are able to really get into.
Amazing. And how does it feel to be finally putting together this show?
Intimidating. I'm scared.
But what made you sort of pick Into the Woods? Why was that your first selection?
we applied for 4 different shows, and I had never produced a show before. I've been on directing teams before, and Esther, my wife, had only just sort of gone into uni and things like that. So she was just like, I'm busy. You do whatever you want, and I'll just help you out later. And so I said, okay. So I went and I applied for 4 different shows, not knowing the process on applying for shows, which you're only meant to apply for 1. But I got an email back from MTI, the people who license the shows. And they said to me, you can have all 4 of them. Which one do you want? And so I looked down the list, and my list that they sent me back included Shrek the Musical, Avenue Q, Seussical, and Into the Woods.
Yeah.
And I looked at the 4 and I said, which would be the easiest to stage with the cast we've had in the past and what we expect to be able to pull together set and prop wise, and we just decided Into the Woods was probably the easiest.
Yeah. And it'll get a lot of people into the theatre.
Exactly,
It's quite a well-known
that's what we
show.
hope for.
Yes. So when did you start auditions?
Oh, I don't remember now. When did we do auditions? Was
like
that February?
Yeah,
I think February
May,
this year.
somewhere in
Yeah,
March even, not May.
yeah. I think it was early February
Yeah.
this year.
Amazing. And what
That
was
seems
that
so long ago.
process like for you guys and being on the other side of the bench?
Tell us about your experience.
I had a wonderful time auditioning for Into the Woods. I did. It's a funny story with how actually I got involved. I saw that they advertised on Facebook for Into the Woods, and I was like, last year, November, December-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never done this show before. I don't really know what to expect. I've listened to it, but I haven't seen it. Why not? So I signed up for it. And I heard nothing back. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's it. I'll go chase my projects. I'll go do me. That would have been cool, but that is what it is. It got to the audition weekend, and very luckily for me, I'd worked with one of the directors before on a project, and I got a message saying, hey Tegan, are you coming to audition for us? Are you here? And I was like, what? She said, this is your audition time, where are you? And I was like, I actually wasn't aware that I was auditioning today. I'm so sorry. I was out like shopping or doing something else totally random. And it turned out that down the line, my phone number had got mixed up and they were actually contacting someone else for the audition spot and not me.
Oh no!
So I had to sort of scramble, and I sent a video audition in that night and then came the next day saying, I can do these times, please, like, if you'll have me, I'll do it. And yeah, very lucky to have this role that I have now.
I would like to add some context to that. It wasn't a random, it was a random person messaging, but it didn't seem like it because the person was responding for some reason as though they were Tegan. Yeah. And so when she didn't show up, we was really confused because she seemed very excited despite the fact that she knew nothing about it.
Oh, that's so strange.
It was really
They
weird.
were just like, yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Like,
They confirmed their audition slot and everything.
oh no. And what about you, Nathan? What was the process?
Nothing like that happened to me. I had a very easy audition process. So no, I originally seen it on social media as well, and then I realized through talking to my parents that who know Corey and Esther really well, that it was their company. So yeah, and I'd always wanted to do this show, and I was like, I have to go and audition for it, and yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but it was, but it all worked out well. So
amazing. And did you originally go for the baker?
I did, yeah. I originally went for this role, so
yeah. And the baker's wife, was that your original intention? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I would love to be this role, and then I was kind of like, I guess not.
Terrific. So you've been rehearsing for a few months now.
Yeah.
What's that been like? What's the cast like? What's the vibe?
Oh, I think for me it was getting my head around the music and everything first, because it's such a beautiful but intense and exciting show where everything constantly changes. So getting my head around everything at first was like challenging, but in a good way. So it was inspiring to meet those challenges through the rehearsals, like mastering a song, getting a scene, getting a speech pattern down right or a song pattern, because they're so complicated. But when you watch them, it's beautiful hearing some of the songs that we have. So it's fun, energetic, busy. But yeah, most of all, it's sort of inspiring and rewarding once you finish the run, because you're like, we've done it. And it was good.
yeah, it's definitely like a deceivingly hard show. Like if you look at it on the surface, it seems like it's just this kind of, the story itself is it's obviously really fun and
gorgeous
lots of people,
fairy tale.
Yeah, and lots of people know it from the movie, of course. But we're actually doing it. It's a very hard show. So we're it's been really just like I've been kind of awestruck just watching everyone come together and learn all the material and work with lots of new faces that I've never worked with before. And I think for me as well, like the challenge for me that I've kind of had is that this is the first kind of role I've done in quite a while. So just kind of, bringing that energy as well has been really exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about for you, Corey? What's it been like guiding everyone through the show?
So this has been a terrifying, once again, intimidating experience myself. I know I'll come back to that, but this is my first time musical directing a show. I'd never done it before, and of course the first time I decided that I'd do a Sondheim musical, and Sondheim is just infamous for being just difficult and stupid with the way that he writes things. Rest in peace. But no, it's been eye-opening for me to be able to sort of see things come together from sort of just a new role, because previously I've done directing and I've done a number of different things. But this is my first time as a musical director, and watching you guys sort of take my direction and really pull it together has just been so amazing. And they're all so brilliant, and anytime I give any instruction, they just take it on and they do it. And my very first instruction was make sure you know your lyrics, because this is actually the second time I've done Into the Woods. The first time I was in the show, I played one of the princes, and I didn't know my lyrics. So so I said, do as I say, not as I did.
So for those listening that may not know the general story of Into the Woods, did you guys want to give us a bit of a rundown?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, the story is a bit of a mishmash of a few characters from the Grimm fairy tales. So we've got Cinderella in the show, we've got Rapunzel, We've got the wolf. We've got Little
Yeah.
Red. And it kind of brings all these characters together in one kind of environment, one fictional setting. And then Tegan and I, who played the baker and the baker's wife, we are kind of, I guess, like the human element of the story, the non-magical people in the story.
Also
And
linking all the stories.
yeah,
together.
Yeah.
linking them all together, and it kind of follows. A lot of what the story is about is kind of morals and wishes, and what happens when you get your wish, and the consequences of that. So there's a kind of a few sort of serious themes to it, but it's a lot of fun, and it just kind of follows our journey through the woods and trying to get what we want.
Yeah.
I sort of describe it as what happens to the characters after they get what they want. So what happens to Cinderella after she does the whole trying on the slipper and gets the prince? What happens when Jack climbs the beanstalk? And like Nath was saying, the choices that happen after that is really interesting to explore, because the second half of the show really digs deep into that and sort of is not what I think the audience would be expecting. So it's a really sort of nail-biting, grittier sort of what's next.
Yeah.
So the first act is very much like, oh, it's your classic fairy tales. It's all wonderful to watch and makes you so happy. And then the second act is the consequences of those choices, whatever they may be.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I
It
think what I have to
sounds-
say as well is that I think I just have to say as well that it's also a very funny show.
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I know from personal opinion, but I know for me, like, the movie version, whilst I know a lot of people loved that, it kind of lost a bit of the humour of the show in its translation.
Like dark comedy. Sort
Yeah,
of.
and there's lots of funny moments in the show that I think audiences will love.
I would very much so describe it as a tragic comedy. Like it is very funny, and I think at its roots, it is a very comedic show with a lot of dramatic and tragic things that happen over the course. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. It sounds like there's lots going on.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a-
Sometime.
I think it's a bit of a show for everyone, like
Yeah.
first-time musical theatre attendees as well as seasoned audience members.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something that can appeal to everyone. I would say is probably 13 and up for age restriction wise. Sort of parent discretion. Younger than that, because the themes are not particularly
Appropriate.
No, I was trying to think. Vivid, not quite vivid. Sorry. I'm completely-
No, that's fine.
I'm blanking on the word. But the themes are not too inappropriate that you wouldn't be able to come and see it with your child. But I would leave that at discretion, because there are themes of death, of really just like a lot of violence, I would say. More than anything, it's really just the violence gets quite... It's over the top. It's almost Looney Tunes, but with a realistic consequence
Yeah.
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrific. And who else will we see, maybe local performers that will make an appearance in this show that people might know about?
Well, for me, I have the pleasure of working with some youth theatre alumni, so people might recognise some Warrigal faces. Kaylee Ward is immediately someone who springs to my mind. She plays Little Red. I've worked with her on productions for so many years, so I'm actually so excited to perform on stage with her, because I haven't done it. She's always been like my stage manager or assistant director, so it's really lovely to actually work with her on the stage. You'll see a few, Aaron Saltmarsh, who plays the steward, is around Warrigal as well, and a few others, which is really lovely to have.
Mitchell Cameron, you saw from LTC and from Next Gen. No, he's come in to play Cinderella's prince, and he's doing just a wonderful job.
But the talent is just throughout everyone. I just get goosebumps listening to everyone's songs. Special shout outs for like Grace as the Witch. Just her Last Midnight will just send you shivers. It's just intense and so powerful, and just I just sit there during rehearsals and I'm like, please sing some more. And it's just, but every character has a moment, and everyone just delivers their moment so truthfully and just so into it that it's just an honor just to sit and watch and be a part of it, I feel, really. And I think the audience will just love getting lost in that.
Beautiful. And do you guys have your favourite songs or favourite moments throughout the show?
That's good for me. Yeah, I need to think about it.
I've got favourite moments of other characters that I love. Obviously, as myself as well, but of other characters, like I'd have to say one for me is when Jack, who's played by Daniel, sings "Giants in the Sky."
Oh, yes.
Definite favourite. I mean, I love that song as outside of the show, but yeah, in the show, it's just and he just sings it so well. It's just such a good moment. So I'd say that one for me. What about you?
I'm so torn as well because it's half got favourites for us, but then other characters. I think Giants in the Sky is also my favourite because it's just such vivid storytelling in that song. But one of my other favourites, I think, is It Takes Two, purely because our choreo is so sweet and beautiful, and just how it's a song between Nathan and I singing how we need to work together to get what we need to get our wish. And I think that's really cute, and it just brings me so much joy singing it. I have a huge smile on my face.
Yeah, that is very fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
My favourite song, even before I came into it, was Giants in the Sky. That's one of my favourite songs in the show. And so it does sort of bring me joy to hear Nathan say that it's also one of his favourites, especially the way that our Jack sings it, Daniel. He does do an absolutely brilliant job. But if I had to pick one that's different, I guess, no, the very last song, the finale, it's been one that's been really tough to get and pull together really well. But now that we're sort of coming into the last stretches of it and seeing the energy that goes into it, and just like when we're right on point with it, it just the people. I don't know how to describe it. There's just this electric energy in the air that it's so inspiring. It makes me go, I want to be up there doing that. But I'm stuck here doing this.
And speaking of the production team, who have we got working behind the scenes?
So we have myself, obviously, musical director. We have Amy Planner as our director. She's someone that we sort of poached away from Escapees Theatre Company in Berwick. So when we did Into the Woods, we were, it's funny, I was looking around for a production team because I was sort of like, I'll direct, I guess, I'll direct and I'll find some other people to do some other roles, because once again, Esther said, I don't want to be involved in this, Esther being my wife who helped co-create the company, for those who've forgotten. She said, no, I don't want to be involved in any of that stuff. I'll help you out at wherever you need. I just want to be able to focus on my study and not have to take on too much. Fair enough. So I went around. I couldn't find anyone. Originally, I had asked Amy to come and be involved in the show as a third-party person on our audition panel, as someone who had no biases towards or against anyone, and so she could just be there and, yeah, exactly. Just give us her thoughts so that we could confirm that we're not, having a special bias against anyone. And then eventually, after me looking around for a musical director for almost 2 months, and I didn't find anyone, I said to Amy, well, do you want to direct? And I know, musical director. And she said, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'd love to do that. Great, wonderful. So that sort of is that. And she came on. She's been wonderful ever since. Our production manager is Rob Robson, ex-manager at the Art Centre, and recently directed Les Mis with Ghostlight Theatre Company. Did an absolutely brilliant job. He is just absolutely wonderful. He's done so much for us to sort of keep us on track and make sure that we're coming along. He's helped us with sets, with props, with so much stuff, and honestly, we could not be where we are without him. So he is just brilliant to have. And my wife is helping out as sort of an assistant musical director or assistant director. She's sort of just filling in little bits and pieces wherever we need someone to cover, because either someone's not there or because maybe we missed something or didn't take a note on something. So yeah, that's our production team. We have a few others working behind the scenes. Rob's daughter Amy is our props manager, and she's built our between her and Rob, they've built our Milky White. So we have a nice big cow statue that's just wonderful.
When it first came in, we were like, it's here, it's alive. It's so good.
Milky White's a character in itself.
Yeah. It is. It really is. And we have a heap of really cool props and effects that we're going to be using that I don't want to spoil because they're going to be wonderful to see. But yeah, I think that's about all I need to mention.
And so we're in the final stretches now. What is it? 7 or 8 days away?
9 days.
9
days.
days.
Yeah.
9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's it all feeling? Coming together?
Super. Nerves,
Yeah.
but super exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Like, I think we're all just like really just can't wait to get to the theatre and like just bring it all to life and with you know the set and everything on stage and it
We're ready.
feels great.
And it's quite a small space you've been rehearsing in the Warragul Community
Yeah,
House.
in the Warragul Community House.
Is it exciting to be able to sort of spread out and take the whole stage?
It is.
Yeah.
We've hired a couple of other venues to do a couple of rehearsals at
Okay.
other places, like at Industry Dance.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out to them, as well as the Wesley.
Mhm.
So a couple of places have given us some spaces to just be able to spread our wings a little bit and do things in a slightly bigger space, but it's still getting onto the stage. There's no feeling quite like it, so we're really excited to get there.
Amazing. And how do you think you'll feel after seeing that first show, the first big Ghostlight show?
I won't see it.
Oh,
I'll have my head in a book because I'll be conducting. So.
Oh, well, that's true. You see it from below?
Yeah, that's right.
I know for me, I'm usually just like an excited, bubbly, nervous wreck, but so happy. And then when the curtain comes down, I'm just like, and then just again, you can breathe. It's just like, it's here, you're done, let's enjoy it now, for me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think it'll be. I think I'll have to keep reminding myself to like take a moment during the whole week to like remember where I am because otherwise it sort of can go so quickly and then.
Well, the tech week is insane with how many things you need to do when you sort of get caught up in knowing everything and doing everything. You don't take that moment just to appreciate and value. Just stop and be like, all right.
Tech week or heck week. It's a very full on, and it is unfortunate that we can only do one weekend. Ideally, most shows you would do at least two. As a newer company, though, our budget doesn't really allow for a larger sort of production season. But one weekend, it's still going to be really nice to be able to get this out there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, do you guys have a bit of a message for your audience? So you'd like to invite them to come see the show?
Yeah, it's sort of, there's so much to say, but it's like, I can't find the words. It's just, you won't regret it coming to watch it. It's just the amount of support that we've had from the community, from the directors, from the cast itself. It's just, everyone has pitched in to really make this work. And the literal magic that you were going to see on that stage will just absolutely make you so happy. I reckon you'll be crying but smiling as you walk out of the theatre door at the end. So yeah, don't miss it. Come watch us.
Yeah. So one of the main messages and also one of the songs in the show, we talk about the fact that no one is alone, and so I think that come and be a part of that message and spread that amongst your family and friends and celebrate it with us.
Amazing. So Ghostlights Into the Woods is running at the West Gippsland Arts Centre from June 8th to June 11th. Thank you so much for coming down and having a chat to me, guys.
Thank you.
you.